Good evening. Hi. Good. How are you? Good evening. My name is Kristen Ike, and I'm the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate for the City of Deltona, and I'm calling the Special Magistrate hearing of April 26, 2023 to order. The first thing on the agenda is the roll call, so I will have all of the Code Enforcement officers introduce themselves.
My name is Mark Gibson, Code Compliance Supervisor.
Danny Ron, Code Compliance Manager.
Renee Kearney, Hearing Clerk.
Brooke Light, Code Compliance Analyst.
Mary Laracy, Code Compliance Supervisor.
Tyler Russo, Code Compliance Officer.
Taylor Succo, Code Compliance Officer. Kristen Holter, Code Compliance Officer.
Todd Mead, Code Compliance Officer. Bashir Turkey, Code Compliance Officer.
Josue Garcia Segarra, Code Compliance Officer.
Fanny, did you want to introduce yourself, or did you already go? All right. So please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Next on the agenda is my statement about how the hearings are going to run tonight. Please forgive me, I'm going to go ahead and read this so I don't forget anything. We are here tonight because the City of Deltona has contended that there are violations of the Deltona City Code that exist. This is a public hearing, which means that no general public comment will be accepted, but each of the respondents and the code enforcement officers here tonight and any witnesses each of you call will be able to present evidence to me regarding each case and the violations of the Deltona City Code that are being alleged. I am an attorney and appointed by the City Commission to render decisions in these code enforcement cases to determine if a violation of the City Code exists and what fine will be imposed, if any. If you are here for a Massey case, you might see that next to your case number on your agenda. That means that I will be determining solely whether you have come into compliance in a timely manner in accordance with the previous order that the special magistrate issued in your case, and will not be reopening the case to determine whether or not a violation existed. Any decision I make this evening will be put into a written format in the form of an order. A copy of my written order will be provided to the city and then mailed to you as well. It is important to note that for any order I issue, you may appeal by sending a written notice of appeal to the circuit court within 30 days of the execution of my order pursuant to Florida statutes, section 162.11. The procedure of the hearings today will be governed by Chapter 162 Florida statutes. Formal rules of evidence shall not apply, but fundamental due process shall be observed and shall govern the proceedings. Hearsay is admissible, but only to support other competent and substantial evidence. If you are a respondent, you will be able to testify, tell me what you think I need to know about your case, present evidence and witnesses. Your testimony will be under oath, so I will be swearing you in, and this hearing is being recorded. For each case, I will call the case number and the city will proceed first. The city has the burden of proving that the code violation exists. Then you will be allowed to respond. For each case, I intend to admit the case file, which you should have received a copy of when you came in this evening. So if you did not receive a copy of your case file, please let me know when you come up. I will take the cases in order that you signed in, first come, first served. Are there any cases I need to announce as being continued?
There's a sheet there.
The updates. Thank you. All right, so we have case 23-018, which is 2751 Summerfield Street. That is being continued. And we have case 23-196, which is 709 Leland Drive, which is withdrawn. So if you are here for either of those cases, you do not need to stay. I will go ahead and swear in everyone who intends to testify today as a group, which includes the code enforcement officers. So please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, please say I do. All right, thank you. Okay, ready for the first one? All right, this is 22-196, a Massey case, 870 Maybrook Drive.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Danny Ron. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance manager. This will be a Massey case number DEL 22-196. The City of Deltona versus Frederick J. Sue. The property address is 870 Maybrook Drive, Deltona, Florida, 32725. The parcel ID number is 813066140050. The statutory requirements for notification of the hearing has been met by the notice of hearing and a notice of code violation was sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property record. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, has been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayal of what I observed on those days they were taken. This case was presented back on July 27, 2022, in a special magistrate hearing. The property was given 30 days to come into compliance. The property did not come into compliance within the 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $100 since August 26, 2022. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $24,300 over the 243 days. The city is requesting that the fine continue at $100 per day. Ma'am, I would also like to put it on record that the property owner did submit a request for accommodation to his disability or disabilities. However, after numerous attempts going back and forth with the emails from the ADA coordinator and the property owner or the representative of the property owner, that information was never provided. And I don't think that person is here this evening, but proper notice was served. I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Okay, and when you say a reasonable accommodation, are you saying they were asking for an extension of time, or what were they asking for?
At first it was time. I also mentioned due to disabilities, but when we asked about how can we accommodate you with the disabilities, we never got an answer on that.
Okay.
We just kept getting emails back and forth about them quoting Florida statutes, privacy laws, trespassing. I have copies of the email. Since I think it might come up on the appeal, I would like to submit this as on the record.
Okay, is this in my folder or no?
No, this is separate, ma'am.
Okay,
And this was provided by the ADA coordinator for the city of Deltona.
okay.
That's been trying to communicate with this person.
Can you explain, I think this was prior to me being a special magistrate with the city, so this was a violation of the Florida Building Code, and what exactly was the?
There was a fence that was installed with no permit. As you see in
the
photo
fence.
number one, didn't show, you don't see the fence on the right-hand side. The year later, when we started presenting this case, this is the fence that was installed. And up to this date, there was no permit applied for this. And the
Okay.
photo, this is today's photo, that fence is still erect on the property with no permit on file.
I see. All right, so photo number 3, that's dated today, and there's no permit that's been issued.
That's correct.
Okay. Give me just a moment to look at the packet
No problem,
you gave
ma'am.
me. You're not aware of any details about the disability that they're claiming?
No, no, ma'am.
All right. Yes, I see it. Basically, these emails just say the medical condition is that there's a disability. So it's the city's position that you would like me to go ahead and issue an order on the Massey case.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We did, we were going to present this case last month, gave more time to come into compliance, and as of today, still no compliance.
Okay. Okay. All right. I find that the notices were properly given in this case. I'm admitting the case file as well as the packet of emails with the ADA coordinator for the city as Exhibit A. So I find that the respondent in this case failed to correct the violation by the time specified in the special magistrate's prior order in this case, and the fine will be imposed as set forth in that order and will continue to run until the property is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code inspector. Respondent shall notify the code inspector to verify compliance.
Thank you, ma'am.
There we go. What am actually, I'm not sure what I'm calling out here.
This is what I'm reading. Right, here's the information.
Okay.
This here package right here
Yeah.
is exactly what the gentleman has in his hand.
Okay.
And it's just basically a summary of who owns the property today, who owned it 5 or 6 years ago, property appraisers, and all the monies that are owed against these 2 addresses.
Okay. But the case is,
Right there. One more back, right there.
okay, so this is a partial lien release request
Are they here
for
tonight?
1210 Southwest 2nd Avenue. Oh, no, that's the property owner's address, I'm sorry. For 257 Fort Smith Boulevard. Is that right? Danny?
Yes, ma'am. What we are looking in this particular situation, we're looking recommendation, direction on, okay, so we have a property owner that is requesting a partial release of a lien. Not a reduction in fine, but a partial release and lien for the property at 257 Fort Smith Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32738, with the parcel ID number of 8130-4225-0190. At one time, this property was linked to a property owner that we did have liens on, and we still have current liens, and the property is still in violation. Looks like the new owner, Mr. Devin Williamson, purchased the property from that person, and his name was Mr. Bramagan, with the address listed at 1197 Acorn in Deltona, Florida 32725. There was no lease search done when this property was bought. What I'm thinking is this is more of a civil matter, and I'm thinking it should be done between the new owner and the previous owner, but we're looking for your recommendation this evening on this
Okay,
type
you
of
said,
case.
did I hear what you said, that there was no research done?
There was no lien search done when the
lien search
purchase,
done.
when the new owner purchased the property.
I see. Yep.
And I guess shortly after is when he found out there was liens linked to this property from the previous owner from a different location.
Okay, so there was never a code violation that existed on 257 Fort
Correct.
Smith, but this property owner, because the lien attaches to all the other properties that owner
Yes, ma'am.
had. Okay. All right. So I am only doing a recommendation to the city commission, correct?
That could be one, or if your recommendation is also, it's a civil matter between the new property owner and the previous property owner. I'm not sure. We're looking for a recommendation from you.
Okay, and what is the amount of the lien at this time?
Oof.
Or, sorry, when did they come into compliance?
They
Well, the original property owner, is the lien still running?
There is some liens still running, correct.
Okay, on the property with the
And
violation.
actually, ma'am, one of our officers is addressing a violation at that one, at the previous owner's address currently, right now. It's going to be presented this evening.
Okay, so, but the lien for which, so
So if you go to,
I'm sorry, I'm
I know, this
trying
one
to
is a tough
understand.
one.
So they have, because I have several case files here.
That is correct.
So there are multiple liens?
That's correct. On one, on the Acorn, so there's two properties other than the Fort Smith property. So I'm going to address, I'm going to bring up 1197 Acorn in Deltona, 32725. Currently, they owe $158,400 of liens, and allow them a special magistrate fines. As for 1203 Stillwater Drive, they owe $25,000 from a special magistrate case.
Okay, for that same owner.
Same owner.
All right, so can you repeat those numbers for me?
For address 1197 Acorn Court, Deltona, Florida 32725, the fine is currently at $158,400.
Okay,
For the property at 1203 Stillwater Avenue, Deltona, Florida 32725, there's a fine of $25,000.
okay. And what is the, they're asking for just a partial release from this property altogether?
That is correct.
Okay. Is the requester here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, would you like to come forward? Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
My name is Devin Williamson, and I'm the owner of 257 Fort Smith Boulevard in Deltona.
Okay. Would you like to speak to me about your request, to tell me anything you'd like for me to know?
Certainly, we bought this property as an investment several years ago. Cleaned the property, debrushed it, hauled some trash off, that sort of thing, and we've maintained it for the last several years. We decided to put it on the market for sale recently. We've actually had multiple buyers interested in the property, and this is the third time recently that we've lost a cash buyer because of this lien issue that comes up at the closing table. So I've done a lot of research over the last 4 or 5 months on this, and the best that I understand it, it was like this man here said, it was a cross-attaching lien to some other people's property across town that has nothing to do with our lot, even though they were an owner of it at one time. So I've got another buyer interested in it, and I spoke with the title attorney today, First International Title Company, and they said that all that would have to be done is just a partial lien release to basically dismiss our obligation from this lot because it has entirely nothing to do with that gentleman or his property. And that's what we're requesting today.
Okay. Was the lien in place when you purchased the property?
Supposedly, it's been in place for years, I guess, and it's accumulated to over $158,000, so, but it wasn't a lien, had nothing to do with our lot.
Right. So it would not have come up in a title search?
I was informed that it would have if I would have done it properly, but the person that I had doing it, I guess didn't know what she was doing.
Okay.
And it was a small transaction. It was all cash, quick deal.
Okay. So you did do a title search, it just didn't come up?
No, I had requested a title search from a girl that used to work for me that said she could look into it. And she told me there was nothing wrong with it. Go ahead and let's buy this. And
Okay.
we did, and it was all cash deal. And we cleaned the property, and we've been maintaining it up here in Deltona, for a couple of years. But I'm forced now. I can't sell it. I mean, I can't do anything with it
Right.
until this is clarified or cleared up somehow.
All right. Does the city have any objection to a partial release from this property?
And not on our part.
What's that?
No, ma'am, not from the city.
Okay. All right. Like I said, I can just give a recommendation. It's ultimately the city commission's decision about whether to issue the partial release. But I'm going to recommend a partial release. Given that there's been no issues on this particular property, and there are multiple other properties, it sounds like where the lien is still attached. I don't have an issue with recommending a partial release in this case.
Okay,
So,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I will add that Danny and Renee and Suzette, they've all been very helpful in trying to help me understand how the system works. So any recommendation for the partial release would be great.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, next case is 23-198, 1049 East Normandy Boulevard.
Good evening. My name is Josue. I thought you said something. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, sir.
My name is Josue Garcia Segarra. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 23-198, the City of Deltona versus the Deltona Women's Club, Inc. The property address is 1049 East Normandy Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32725. The parcel ID number is 813-0051-30010. This property is being brought before the special magistrate for more than one violation. These violations are as follows. The first violation is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.2, which states all exterior surfaces, including but not limited to doors and window frames, cornices, porches, trims, balconies, decks, and fences shall be kept in sound working condition and maintained in good repair. Exterior wood surfaces other than decay-resistant woods shall be protected from the elements and decay by painting or other protective covering or treatment. Corrective action for said violations to repair or replace the damaged exterior surfaces. The second violation is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-5, which states adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.7, which states the roof and the flashing shall be sound tight and not have defects that emit rain. Corrective action for this said violation is to repair or replace the roof, gutters, or drainage. The third violation is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 302.7, which states all accessory structures, including detached garages, fences, and walls, shall be maintained and kept in good repair and structural sound. Corrective action for said violations: to repair or remove the structure, which would be a shed in this case. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice code violation were sent certified mail to both the property owners at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. So on May 6, 2022, this case was opened proactively as I found this property to have exterior door frame in disrepair and a roof in disrepair. On the rear of the building, there's a housing for plumbing that is missing exterior door, which is allowing for the door frame to have wood rot. The soffit and fascia of the roof are also in disrepair. A courtesy notice and a business card was left. On July 13th, 2022, a notice of violation was posted with the compliance date of July 23rd, 2022 for the exterior walls. On December 16th of 2022, a notice of violation was posted with compliance date of January 5th for the 2023 for the roof and disrepair. On March 9th, 2023, I performed a site visit and noticed the shed is now in disrepair. A notice of violation was posted with a compliance date of April 5th, 2023. On April 13th, 2023, a notice of hearing was posted, and as of today, all the violations still exist.
Okay, you are flipping through today's photos? These are? Yes, okay. All right, so the accessories, can you go back? The accessory structure, is that supposed to be a door that is broken?
Yes, ma'am. For the
Okay.
shed.
Okay. And, all right, and then going to the roofing, do you have a roofing picture from today? Okay, so basically all of like the soffits and things are in disrepair. Okay, and then can you go for protective treatment? What is it that you're alleging there?
That the door frame is missing, and the photo, it's kind of hard to tell, but there is wood rot that's going around the whole frame since they're missing the actual door.
Okay, the front door?
It's a rear door of the building.
Okay, that the door frame is missing?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, that's good.
And what is this picture of?
That would be the missing door. And inside there's like plumbing for hose connections.
Oh, okay. So there's a door frame missing and a missing door.
Yes, ma'am.
And kind of, I see kind of paint and disrepair along like the bottom of the column there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is the property owner here?
Yes.
Okay, would you like to come forward?
I'm not the property owner. The property owner is the Deltona Women's Club, nonprofit organization.
Okay.
I'm an attorney. They hired me to represent them.
Okay.
To make a simple request.
Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Absolutely. George Travato, 150 North Volusia Avenue, Suite B, Orange City, Florida, 32763.
Okay.
So, some of these things are not in violation, but obviously there are quite a bit of violations. The issue, from what I heard, and it's not an excuse, is that basically the Women's Club was notified, I think, back in either late July or early August, and shortly thereafter we had the hurricane. The major problem that we're having here was that there really was no money or financing in the Women's Club, the nonprofit, but they were just, I'm here to represent that they have been able to obtain a substantial amount of funds that should be able to address that. We've hired an engineer that's going to be required. It's not simply just pulling a permit and getting the work done. We're going to need an engineer to do the work in order to get the permit. And I also have the builder who's been hired, who's going to be doing the work once the engineering work is approved by the city and the permits are going to be pulled by the general contractor who's here today.
Okay. And what is your estimation of the time that's going to be needed to accomplish that?
Well, Obviously, the amount of work that needs to be done, I would say somewhere between 60 to 120 days. But in order to get progress going and showing the city that we're doing something, I would think at most 6 to 8 weeks. In other words, get the engineering plans in, get the city to approve it. Sometimes that may take a while with all the projects they have going on. But once they give us that approval and we get the permit, we're good to go at that point. And then it's just getting the work done.
Right. So for the city, what is your recommendation in terms of the time for compliance?
I can meet them in the middle at 90 days, if that's fine. And then I was going to suggest $175 per day after that, if they don't come into compliance.
Okay.
Just to be clear, you're saying 90 days to do all the work?
Well, you stated 60 to 120.
No, to get the permit
to get
and
the permits,
going and
okay.
everything. I'm only saying because I know what the city's going through. There's a lot of engineering work and approval through the planning and zoning and everything else to get the work done. Then getting the materials and the work being done. And there's extensive, I mean, you see, there's extensive work. It's not simply just re-roofing a house. That's a no-brainer. That's just replacing a door.
Right. I mean, that's my difficulty here is, I mean, looking at, for example, the shed, that seems like that could be fixed quickly.
Absolutely.
I think,
and we don't need a permit for that. So.
yeah, I mean, in terms of the roofing issue, I mean, I'm not sure why it would take that long to address the roof or, frankly, a door frame. So, if that's the basis for the violation, I mean, there may be a lot of other work that needs to be done, but in terms of the violations specifically that are being alleged.
And I can tell you that he alleges the door frame and there's no door. There's no code that requires that because it's outside plumbing. It's made to be that way. It may not look nice, but it's not a requirement under the building code. Like I said, I have a general contractor who knows the code as well. As far as that door can be replaced, and it's not going to take more than a couple of weeks because we're not going to need a permit to get that. But as far as the roof goes, it's going to require engineering plans. If the city's willing to issue us a permit, we'll get a permit this week. But I don't see that the city, right? I don't believe that the city will do that unless they get engineering plans due to the extensive damage to the property. And that's really the holdup. So, like I said, if it was just a roofing job on a house, we'd get the permit tomorrow and we'd get started right away. But the timing is, I don't know where the city and the engineer are at. You know, the engineer's got to get the work done, and then the city's got to approve it.
Mr. Travato, I think what the officer is trying to convey is that it's going to take, all of them are going to require permits. The 90 days is to obtain the permit.
No, he was saying get all the work done.
Yeah, the violation is for the IPMC, so they need to complete the work to come into compliance, not just obtain the permit.
And we give them 90 days?
You can do 120.
Ma'am, my recommendation is stick with the 90 for the permit, 120 days for the roof, but I'm thinking the shed could be done soon.
I'm saying that we'll be back here, if we can continue this, we'll be back in 60 days and show you the progress that we've made. If you're not happy with it, then you give us 30 days to get the work done. If you are, then we can explain why it may take longer than that.
Okay, let's do this. I'm going to, let's see, it's, sorry, I wanted to look at this. So on the protective treatment, the issue is the exterior, it provides the exterior surface including doors and window frames. So it includes door frames, shall be maintained in good condition. So is that the only thing on the protective treatment?
That and then the column by the front door.
And the column?
That's in some
Okay,
disrepair.
so really, to me, the issue is the length of time for the roof. That seems to be the biggest issue.
Yes, ma'am.
And the city's willing to go with 120 days for that?
Yes,
To
ma'am.
get that repaired? All right. Can you give me 120 days, what that date would be?
It depends on the engineer. It looks like the engineer might take long because of commercial, considered commercial. No, to obtain a permit. I think she-
August 24th?
but then when you complete the- that's what I was asking.
All right. So I'm inclined to give you until August 24th to come into compliance, and I think that is ample time.
Yes.
Given that 2 of these violations should be able to be fixed very quickly, I think.
Absolutely.
All right, so I find that first of all, I find that the notices were properly given in this case, and I'm admitting the case file as Exhibit A. I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on August 24th, 2023. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $175 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, this is case 23-185, 2824 Corrigan Drive.
Ready. My name is Todd Mead. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 23185. The City of Deltona versus Yvette McNabb. The property address is 2824 Corrigan Drive, Deltona, Florida 32738. The parcel ID number is 813-032-780-140. This property is being brought before the special magistrate for more than one violation. These violations are as follows. Violation A, this is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 302.7, which states, all accessory structures, including detached garages, fences, and walls shall be maintained and kept in good repair and sound structural condition. Corrective action for said violation is repair or remove the fence. A permit is required if replacing 2 or more panels. Violation B. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall make application of the building official and obtain the required permit. Corrective action for said violation is obtain a permit for the pool. The applications must be submitted to the City of Deltona, 2345 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida. The structure must meet all requirements of city ordinance and be approved on final inspection. Contact our office with a permit number when obtained. Statutory requirements for this notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. On December 13th, 2022, I visited the property on a separate case and observed the front fence panel down. This is on the left side of the home. I also noticed a secondary panel in disrepair running along the side face of the fence. The opening exposed an above-ground pool to the backyard area as well. I contacted the city code compliance customer service rep to confirm if a pool permit was at the resident. No permit was on record with the city. I provided a door hanger notice to the homeowner at that time of service. I returned to the property on December 21st and discussed with a female resident the current issues in violation, the fence in disrepair, and the need for a permit on the pool. I provided a printout from the city website with the information on the pool requirements. No application for a permit on the pool was on record, and the inspection date of January 28th, 2023. A notice of violation was then issued. The pool was exposed to the fence that has not been repaired. The homeowner advised of a claim for insurance was in the process to repair the fallen panels. The pool did not have the ladder in the pool to deem it unsecured. I have returned to the property on numerous times to help make contact and correct the violations, February 13th, February 28th, March 8th, and April 4th. No actions by the homeowners have been on record to correct. The notice of hearing was posted on April 12th, 2023. The city would like to request 60 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day be imposed until such a time that the property owner notifies the city of compliance.
Okay, I have a couple questions. So some of the pictures show a fence falling down, and others are showing it just, there's a gap.
Yeah.
So are there two areas in the fence, or?
Yes, from this street view, you can see this is the main front of the fence.
Yes.
There's another picture that was, if you move a little too out, there's another picture there. Right
And
there.
that's the other side?
In front of the panel, it's leaning, there's some slats that are basically missing. So that also
Okay.
goes into fence and disrepair where the slats are missing.
So that is another area of the fence?
Yes, that's
Okay.
running alongside the neighboring
Okay.
fence.
And so there still is no security around the pool?
Well, the way that the pool ordinance, if the pool is above 48 inches, it's still considered a secured manner without the ladder being there, so it's okay to be maintained that way.
I see.
It's just the fence offers a second barrier to keep people from getting in there and getting, falling into the pool or getting in the pool.
So there's not an issue with the pool being unsecured?
Correct, at this time, right?
Okay. Yes, because I'm concerned about that if it's a safety issue. Okay, is the owner here?
Yes.
All right. Can you state your name and address for the record?
Ivan McNabb, 2824 Corrigan Drive, 32738.
Okay. Is there anything you want to tell me about your case?
Well, of course, the defense got cut down because of Hurricane Ian. Applied for FEMA, went through the insurance. Of course, FEMA came out, did nothing. Insurance claim still being processed. But the side fence, that is not mine, that's the neighbor's. I just think, but the front panel, that is mine.
So can you be specific? So we're looking at picture B1. Is this your?
The front panel that's down, that's mine. But
That's
the
yours?
side panel, that thing, that's the neighbor's fence that's been rotting out for years, and I've been telling her about that.
I see it, yeah, beyond kind of the
That's
gap.
always been there before
Yeah.
my even property was there.
Okay, understood. But I don't think that's what we're having an issue with.
It would the best be missing the first front panel.
The front panel,
yeah,
right.
If that is the
And
neighboring
I have a
fence.
picture that today I had that fixed,
Which one?
the front panel.
The front panel.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was out there,
At
what,
1, but I have a
1
picture of
o'clock?
recently,
Yeah.
they came out like 3-something and fixed it for me, so,
okay. If you'd like to bring it up.
yeah.
Okay. So, Mr. Mead, could you come up so you can see also? We do it that way. So this is the picture. It appears to be the panel. Okay, so, but there was a second area, right?
What she's pointing out is that there's a remaining fence, we'll have to address that.
Okay, so the compliance issue on the fence, she has complied. All right, thank you. Can you please send, is it something you can email the picture to the clerk so we have it for the record? Thank you. All right, so on the accessory structure, that has come into compliance. So now we're just dealing with the pool not having a permit. So, Mr. Mead, do you still think that 60 days would be adequate for that?
Yeah, I believe, yes. You can
Okay.
still have the 60 days, and then the fact that they're asking for 100, we could reduce that down to 25 and allow, because I think the permit of the pool, whether she would like to keep the pool, if she remove the pool from the property, then that goes away, or she attains a permit. She would just.
Okay, and
60.
if we were down to the one pool violation, what is your recommendation on the fine?
$25 a day.
25, okay. And for the owner, so do you feel 60 days is a reasonable amount of time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So that's what I will do. I'm admitting the case files, Exhibit A. I find that the notices were properly given in this case. And I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, except I'm only finding a violation of the section 18-3 of the city code, which adopts the Florida Building Code section 105.1. So no violation of the IPMC 302.7. And that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on, that would be June 25th, 2023.
Okay.
In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order. So please make sure you stay in contact
ma'am.
with him and let him know.
I will.
All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
It is.
It's very,
We can get out of the time.
okay. I'm like, okay, this is Massey case 22, well, there's several. This is for 1299 Fountainhead Drive, 22-061, 22-062, and 060. Good evening.
Hello, I'm Taylor with the City of Deltona.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Vermont LLC is the owner of the rental property located at 1299 Fountainhead Drive, Deltona, Florida, 32725, parcel ID 813010190030. On November 22nd of 2021, 2 code cases were opened at this address by a resident who stated in an email that he toured the rental property and among other items, he discovered a garage conversion into a bedroom, a Florida room being used as living space, and a deteriorated fence. The fence case was later opened on December 20th of 2021. It should be noted that the The property owner did make contact and expressed that he was having difficulty finding a contractor to be able to pull the necessary permits. DEL 22-061, a Florida room was turned into a living space by removing the sliding glass doors without a permit. The exterior windows of the Florida room were approved for a Florida room, not an inhabitable interior living space. The property came into compliance 227 days after the time designated by the special magistrate. A fine of $22,700 was accrued over the 227 days. DEL 22062. A wall was installed without a permit inside the garage to convert the existing garage into a bedroom. A window unit was added to the converted garage. The property came into compliance 301 days after the time designated by the special magistrate. A fine of $30,100 was accrued over the 301 days. DEL 22060. A fence was observed in disrepair. The property came into compliance 223 days after the time designated by the special magistrate. A fine of $22,300 was accrued over the 223 days. The rental property, this is a rental property with tenants at the property throughout the lengthy duration of these cases. The total amount of fines accrued for all three violations was $75,100.
Okay, and this is also a lien reduction request?
Yep.
Okay, and what is the lien reduction requested to be?
Yep.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
It's Eric Spivey, 9907 8th Street, number 1269.
Okay.
We're requesting, she did them all three together, so we're requesting respectfully $1,000 per case, or a total of $3,000. I wasn't sure if you just wanted me to answer that question, or if you wanted me to just give a few other brief comments.
Yes, please go ahead and you can give me your comments.
All together, or each one by one, or what?
Let's start with all together. If I have questions, I might have you separate it. Okay.
I'm going to keep it as brief as possible for you. So she pointed out a lot of the things I was already going to say. So I think a couple just important points. The owner, Vermont LLC, I'm the real estate agent, did not do any of these things. They didn't convert the carport, and they didn't install the rear door. These were done, we don't know how long ago, but they were done prior to the current owner purchasing the property. There was some difficulty in finding contractors. A carport conversion is a very tricky thing because a contractor is basically not doing the work, but they're taking responsibility for the work. So obviously that is, there's liability concerns, and most contractors that we call don't want anything to do with it, but it has to be done. Or you have to tear the house down to come into compliance. We finally found a contractor that was willing to take that on, and they applied for the permit November 1st of 2022, and engineered drawings were required, and there were a lot of steps involved, back and forth, working cooperatively with the city, answering notes. The permit was issued on January 24th, 2023, and it passed its final inspection 3 days later. So when we finally got going on it, working with the city took about 3 months to get the permit finally issued. And when it was issued, 3 days later, it was past its final permit inspection and the case was closed. That being said, it also indicates there were very few things that actually had to be done. While the violation was no permit, a few of the things, there was a door pad missing from the rear door, and there was some trim missing from the front. So there were very few things that needed to be done once the permit was issued and passed its final inspection with the city's building department. And then just wrapping up on the fence, there was some concern with the neighbors, and rightfully so, to make sure it was our fence, as you saw in the previous case. No one wants to go tearing down someone else's fence. It just creates issues. It should have been done sooner. We apologize for that. All three of these should have been done sooner. For that one, it was a combination of the shortage of workers and also making sure we don't extend the, we basically just remove the fence. There's no pool in the backyard, raised or underground. And it was just making sure we don't, how far do we remove the part of the fence? So all that being said, we respectfully request $1,000 per. That's still a very significant amount of money, $3,000. And as we were working through this process, on the third one, I just did include one, document. And on September 2nd, 2022, that's when I was brought on board to really start attacking this. We did a lien search, and it only showed up 2 cases. And so we thought there were only 2. And then we did another lien search in January to finally get a hold of these. And that's whenever we came up with the third case, 062. So, there was just some processes to work through to make sure we captured the whole problem. We did get it resolved with a permit, with an engineer, with a contractor. And so we're respectfully requesting $3,000 total. And I'm able to answer any questions you have.
Okay, so can you tell me again, because I think the order was for you to come into compliance on March 25th of 2022. And so when were the permits obtained again?
The permit was applied, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. My notes show the permit was applied for on November 1st, 2022, and the permit was issued on January 24th, 2023. And, there is a gap in there, and that gap was trying to find a contractor to take on a completed, converted carport that we didn't do, and we didn't know when it was done. And that's tricky.
Was that contractor also for because I think the other case, was it 061, was for the Florida room? Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, so was the contractor working on that too?
Correct, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And just to point out, whenever we got in the weeds with the building department, they actually wanted us, while we did apply for 2 separate permits, they ended up just wanting us to throw it all together into one because it was the same area.
And Vermont LLC, you're saying these the carport and the Florida room, they were constructed before Vermont LLC acquired the property?
Yes, ma'am. And we don't know when, but we did not do any conversion of the carport.
Okay.
I tried searching at Google Street View to try to figure it out, and I could not. And I also went to the property appraiser site. Sometimes they have front views, and I couldn't figure it out. It could have been decades ago. I don't know how far back, those records go, but we did not do it.
Okay. So for the city, what is your position? Do you have objections to the lien reduction request? Are you in favor of it?
I'd like to carry on with the $100 for the total fines, just because of how long it took to get everything completed. And like I stated previously, he was in contact, or whoever I was speaking with was in contact with me for a little while, and then after that, I've had no contact since, and I left a couple voicemails and such, and I never heard anything back.
Okay, so you do object to the reduction, and you would request that the full amount remain?
Correct.
Okay. So, and like I said before, for the previous case, I'm just providing a recommendation. The city commission has to make the decision. So I have to look at the gravity of the violation, the time that it took for you to come into compliance, the accrued amount of the lien, any previous or subsequent code violations, financial hardship, and any other mitigating circumstances that warrant the reduction. I think, I am in favor of a reduction. I think that in this case, although it took some time, they did provide an explanation as to why, and I think that makes sense based on my understanding of the difficulty in getting a contractor to work on and basically approve a structure that's already been built. So I am in favor of a reduction. And I also think the fact that the structure was like that when they purchased it, that makes me also consider a reduction. I think the question is how much of a reduction? Do you have any data or anything on the costs that the city incurred in the course of the code enforcement for these 3 cases?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
So meaning the costs that you incurred in terms of staff time,
I do not have a record of that, no.
You don't have a record of that? Okay. Did you have something for me? No, okay. I thought you were about to tell me something. All right. I am going to, I'm going to do a total of 6,000. I do think that there was some obviously delay between March and November was the time that you actually applied. And I do think that amount should cover any of the costs that the city incurred in the code enforcement. But like I said, I do think that some of the other circumstances warrant a reduction. But again, it's a recommendation.
Yes, ma'am.
And so you'll have to go with the city, talk to the city commission as well.
I appreciate that. And that'd be
Okay.
6,000, so 2,000 each, total 6,000?
Correct.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
All right. All right, this is case 23-192, 1510 Baven Drive.
My name is Kristen Coulter. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 23-192, the City of Deltona versus VM Pronto LLC. The property address is 1510 Bavon Drive. The parcel ID number is 813-065-020-120. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make an application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Corrective action for said violation is to obtain a permit for the fence. Applications must be submitted to the City of Deltona, 2345 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida. The structure must meet all requirements of city ordinance and be approved on final inspection. Contact our office with the permit number when obtained. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was initiated based on a complaint and was opened on January 30th, 2023, concerning a new fence installed without a permit. I received the lease agreement from the Water Department with the contact email for the property owner and emailed them regarding this case. No contact has been made. An NOV was posted on February 20th, and the property was given until March 2nd to come into compliance. To date, there are no permits on file. The city would like to request 60 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day to be imposed until such a time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
All right, so there is no permit on file for this fence, and then, correct?
Correct.
And then, are these photos from today?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. So, is the property owner here? All right, you can come forward, please.
Good evening.
Good evening. Can you state your name and address for the record?
My name is Joseph Eisman. I'm a property manager. Do you want the address of the property, my office, or my personal address?
Your office, if you're here as the property manager.
7380 West Sand Lake Road, Orlando, Florida, 32819.
Okay. What would you like to tell me about the case?
I did reach out to the vendor that did install the fence. They are waiting on the survey. We'll happily apply for a ARC mod or and a permit for this, and as soon as they get back with the survey.
Okay. Are you anticipating that the survey will be available within 60 days?
I would imagine so, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Is there anything else from either?
Not for this property. I do have 2 other properties here today.
Okay. Anything else from the city?
No.
Okay. All right. I find that the notices were properly given in this case, and I'm admitting the case file as Exhibit A. I find that respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that the respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on, that'd be June 25th, which is 60 days. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $50 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sit back down.
All right, and then this is for 23-168, 337 Providence Boulevard.
Good evening. My name is Bashir Turkzi. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 23168, City of Deltona versus Safari 2 Asset Company, LLC. Property address is 337 Providence Boulevard. Parcel ID is 813012120070. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance 18-3, Adopt Florida Building Code, no permit. Violation City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alters, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Correction action for said violation is to obtain a permit for the fence. Applications must be submitted to the City of Deltona, 2345 Providence Boulevard, Deltona 32725. The structure must meet all requirements of City Ordinance and be approved on final inspection. Contact our office with the permit number when obtained. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation being sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was a proactive case, was opened on January 24th, concerning a new fence installed without a permit. I was able to speak with the property manager and informed him of the violation and the corrective actions. A notice of violation was posted on February 7th, and the property was given until February 16th to come into compliance. Upon reinspection today, the property is still in violation. The city would like to request 60 days for the property to come into compliance. or a fine of $50 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Thank you. So it's your testimony that they still, a permit still has not been issued for the fence? Okay. Sir, since this is another case, can you state your name and address for the record again?
Absolutely. My name is Joseph Eisman. Our office is located at 7380 West Sand Lake Road, Orlando, Florida 32819.
All right, thank you. What would you like to tell me about this case?
I did reach out to the vendor today to get an update on where we're at with this. The vendor did express that a permit was submitted on April 18th, and they have not heard an update yet. I said I would express that at the hearing tonight.
On April 18th?
That's what I was told.
Okay.
I do have an email showing that as well.
Do you happen to know, was the survey submitted with it?
I imagine so, knowing this vendor. However, I am not aware if it was or was not.
Okay. All right. Well, if that's the case, then I imagine 60 days should be ample time to obtain the permit. Did you have anything else to add?
No.
All right. Okay, so I do find that the notices were properly given in this case. I'm admitting the case file as Exhibit A. And I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on June 25th, 2023. In the event respondent does not comply with this date, a fine in the amount of $50 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order. Okay, we have case 23-029, 2089 East Gloria Drive. Okay.
My name is Kristen Coulter. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This will be Massey case number DEL 23-029, the City of Deltona versus SRAM PAC IA LLC. The property address is 2089 East Gloria Drive. The parcel ID number is 813-004-280120. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled on February 8th, 2023 that the property owner was given 30 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $50 a day since March 11th, 2023. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $2,350 over 47 days. The city is requesting that the fines continue at $50 per day. I will note that I spoke to a different gentleman from the company earlier this afternoon. He is working on getting the required documents to move the fence and get the appropriate permit.
Okay, so as of today, so the time to comply was March 10th, right?
Correct.
And so as of today, there still is no permit that's been issued for the fence?
No.
Okay, and can you repeat again the amount of what's accrued?
$2,350.
$2,350. Okay, thank you. All right, sir, again, can you state your name and address for the record?
Absolutely. My name is Joseph Eisman. I'm a property manager for the property. Our office is 7380 West Sand Lake Road, Orlando, Florida 32819.
Okay.
So we do have Shane Hiddle. Was that who you spoke with? Okay. Shane and I had spoken as well today. We were informed that this fence actually is not on the property line as it needs to be. We will move said fence and put in a permit for it so that can be corrected. Hold on one second, if I may. We did email, the vendor did email on April 21st at 8:08 a.m. to a Maria Rosada M. Rosada at Deltona FL.gov. Unfortunately, Maria did respond saying that they couldn't process the permit at this time. They need the following description of the permit. Needs the type of fence and the height of the fence. Surveys need to have marked where the fence is going. And then she added on, which we were not privy to prior, but you can see it in the photo, that there is a shed that was put up by the resident without our permission. I have emailed our violations department to notify the resident that they do have to take that shed down. I believe in order for the fence to be moved, it's going to encroach where that shed is anyhow, so no matter what, it does need to be taken down or moved. We do not permit our residents to put up sheds.
Okay, so so you're telling me the fence is going to have to be moved. I presume that's because of a survey that you obtained, and it's not
Apparently the
correct.
fence, when whoever installed it, I believe that was prior to our ownership, did not put it on the property line. When the fence, a tree had fallen on the fence during the hurricane. As you can see, it's been repaired by us. And we put it at the exact same spot, not knowing that it was encroaching on the other property. That has since come to light. So now we have to move the fence and get a permit.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, at this time, what I'm really doing is just determining whether or not you've come into compliance by the date that I ordered previously, which was March 10th. And so obviously that hasn't occurred at this time. Do you anticipate how long it's going to be for you to?
The biggest issue is that shed. The second biggest issue would be getting the permit and then following up with moving the fence.
All right.
Residents can be tricky. I do not have a quantified time. We will absolutely establish contact with them and see what their stance is on it.
Okay. And so for the city, you are still requesting the amount that's accrued at this time to be imposed? Okay. All right. That's what I'm going to do. I already gave 30 days for compliance there. So I'm going to find that, well, first of all, that the notices were properly given in this case. I'm admitting the case file as Exhibit A. I find respondent in this case failed to correct the violation by the time specified in the special magistrate's prior order in this case, and the fine will be imposed as set forth in that order and will continue to run until the property is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code inspector. Respondent shall notify the code inspector to verify compliance. So please make sure. Yes.
May I add, if I may?
Go ahead.
There was a permit pulled. The vendor that did supply the permit and the survey only highlighted the gate instead of the gate plus the repair on the fence.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. You said something about the vendor?
Yes, the vendor that repaired the fence did pull a permit, and on the survey, they only highlighted the gate. And when they, instead of the gate plus the repaired section of the fencing. So that was approved for the gate, but because they did not highlight the new fencing that they installed for the repair, that permit doesn't apply to that. Does that make any sense? They should have highlighted all areas that they touched on the fence.
Okay.
They did not.
Is the permit required for the entire fence or just repairs?
For the whole fence.
Okay.
Okay, I will.
I mean, because there was never a permit obtained for erecting the entire fence, correct?
Correct.
All right. So just to
Understood.
clarify, all right? Okay, so that fine is continuing to run, so please make sure you contact the code inspectors as soon as you're able to get the permit issued.
Absolutely.
All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this is case 23-173, 1197 Acorn Court.
I would just like to mention that this property is being brought in front of the special magistrate today due to the property owner contesting the abatement of the lot maintenance case.
Okay.
My name is Bashir Turkzi. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 23173. City of Deltona versus Bromage and Brian K. Property address is 1197 Acorn Court. Parcel ID number is 813002200270. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 38-110B2, which states that accumulations of waste, yard trash, rubble, and/or debris are declared to be a nuisance and must be abated in their entirety. Corrective action for said violation is to dispose of the debris properly or store inside an enclosed building. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation being sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was a proactive case that was opened on February 7th concerning excessive debris, scrap material at this property. I spoke several times with the property owner and informed him of the violation and the corrective actions. An abatement notice was posted on February 7th, and the property was given until February 14th to come into compliance. Upon one of my re-inspections, I spoke to the property owner and he informed me that he's contesting the abatement of his property. Property owner was given an extension after the deadline to come into compliance. As of today, the property is still in violation. The city would like to move forward with abating the property due to the public nuisance becoming a health and safety matter for the general public and an immediate concern for the surrounding properties.
Okay. So this was my role in this would just be to provide additional time if I determine that's appropriate, correct, for them to abate?
Normally, when we post the property for abatement, we go ahead and abate it unless the property owner writes a letter requesting an appeal, basically.
Right.
So we grant them that opportunity.
Right. So I'm determining whether or not the nuisance exists and whether additional time is needed, if any.
Correct. Yes.
All right. So so they were told to abate the nuisance by what date?
February 14th.
Did you say 4th?
14th.
14th.
Yes.
Okay. And you said there was another extension that was given?
After I spoke with the property owner, he requested to contest the case, the abatement. I went ahead and gave him an additional extension.
Okay, until when?
I gave him a week when I spoke with him.
Okay, so a week after February 14th?
Correct.
Okay. And then at that time, that was when they requested a hearing?
No, they requested a hearing on the 14th.
Oh, okay. All right.
And that's when I granted him an additional
Okay.
week.
All right. And then is the property owner here?
No, I don't believe he's here now.
Okay. All right. So for the record, the accumulation, is this, it looks like there's all kinds of construction. Is it, it's broken.
Considered debris.
Yeah, broken.
Scrap material.
Yeah.
The property owner is known for being a scrapper. We've had several cases prior to this one, and it's been going on for a long time. We have prior cases to this dealing with the same situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so broken scrap material, basically. And is this in the front yard?
It's in the driveway going all the way to the front door of his property. You cannot access the front property, actually. The
Okay.
front door.
All right, and do you have pictures from today?
Yes. This is one of the pictures
This
from
is from
today.
today? Okay.
And this is also from today. That's actually part of the walkway leading to the front door. As you can see, is obstructed, so you don't even have access to the front.
All right.
To the
Okay.
door.
All right, well, I find that there is a nuisance. Clearly, there's quite a bit of scrap material that's all over the front yard and the driveway. And so I suppose typically you give them 7 days, correct?
Correct.
So I suppose I would just order an additional 7 days from now. But I do find that a nuisance exists for the property.
Okay. Thank you.
So
May 3rd.
that'd be May 3rd. Thank you. All right, so for Renee, if you can send me this order, because it's a short time frame, if you can send me this order before the other ones, just and send it to me first, then I can get this one done and you can get it sent out quickly. Thank you. All right. And also for the record, I am admitting the case file, and I find that the notices were properly given in the case. All right, case 23-062, 3240 Amber Street.
Ready?
Go ahead.
My name is Todd Mead. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 23062. The City of Deltona versus SFR JV-2 Property LLC. The property address is 3240 Amber Street, Deltona, Florida, 32738. The parcel ID number 813-032-400-060. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Corrective action for said violation is to obtain the permit for the fence. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. On November 1st, 2022, I observed new fence panels on the property while doing a proactive review of the area. The fence was replaced after Hurricane Ian. A notice of violation was sent out around the 9th of November to the property owner on record. The certified mailing receipt was received back signed in the City Hall offices on the 28th of November, 2022. No verbal or email contact from the owner has been received. The compliance date on file was November 20th, 2022. An inspection on February 12th, 2023 indicated that the homeowner was in violation after the compliance date. The homeowner had a general contractor contact me on March 24th, 2023 with information about obtaining a survey and delaying the special magistrate case. This case has been referred to for the April special magistrate hearing On April 12, 2023, the notice of hearing was posted on the property. As of today, there is no application for a permit. The property owner, property manager did contact me yesterday. We did discuss getting the permit. He is the contractor that is filling out the paperwork, basically has got the survey done and should be being submitted. But I told him we were going to present the case because it has been outstanding for a number of months. The city would like to request 45 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $25 per day be imposed on such time the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay, so they have told you the survey is complete at this point?
Right.
Okay.
That's basically.
All right, and property owner is not here. So I find that the notices were properly given in this case. I'm admitting the case file as Exhibit A. Sorry, I'm looking at, oh, okay. It was continued at the last hearing, but that was at the city's request, right?
Right.
Correct. Okay, thank you. All right, so I find that respondent is in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on June 10th, which would be 45 days. 2023. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
23-147, 1060 Bannock Terrace. Go ahead.
Good. My name is Todd Mead. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 23147. The City of Deltona versus TAHMS Borrower LLC, care of Tricon American Homes LLC. The property address is 1060 Bannock Terrace, Deltona, Florida 32738. The parcel ID number is 813-048-040-010. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Corrective action for said violation is to obtain the permit for the fence. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was initiated from a residential complaint on November 1st, 2022. The notice of violation was sent out on the 6th of November to the owner of record. In addition, a courtesy notice was provided to the tenant and property manager in the form of the door hanger on this day. The case was updated to a fence in disrepair at that time. The property owner replaced the whole fence on or about the 19th of December 2022. No permits were on record for the fence. The new case was then opened for the no permit on the fence. Contact was made with the property manager with Tricon on December 20th, 2022. Tricon proceeded to work on getting a permit on the case. I forwarded pictures on the before and after situation of the fence. A violation was sent out on February 28th for the new violation of no permit for the fence. A survey of their property was scheduled to be obtained to get the permit within a number of weeks. Again, the contractor representing Tricon contacted me on March 14th, 2023 for an extension of time on the compliance date to obtain permit. No submittal of an application for a fence permit has been recorded in city offices. The property was posted for a special magistrate hearing on April 12th, 2023. The city would like to request, again, 45 days for the property to come in compliance on, and a $25 per day to be imposed until such time with the property owners notified the city of compliance. This case is also property managed by the same one from the previous case of Tricon. Same contractor is working on getting that permit, so they are working towards the same things of the last case mentioned.
Okay, you've spoken with the representative,
Right,
and they're working on obtaining the
Just
permit.
I think the fact of somebody getting some paperwork done.
Okay. All right, so, and do they have a survey in hand?
This one also was, the survey was completed just about the same time as well, so basically it's probably the same survey
Okay.
company was working with them to get things done for their.
All right, so the survey's completed. All right, so I'm going to find, and as of today, there's no.
Nope, I checked this afternoon at 2 o'clock, there was no permits submitted just
Okay.
from online or anything and with the city
All right.
offices.
Thank you. All right, so I find that the notices were properly given in this case. I'm admitting the case file as Exhibit A. I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and respondent correct the violation before 4 o'clock p.m. on June 10th, which would be 45 days. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the quote inspector to verify compliance with this order. Thank you. All right, this is case 23-154, 2114 Van Orman Drive.
All right. And
Go ahead.
my name is Todd Mead. I am employed by the city of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 23154. The city of Deltona versus Hoyt H. Yateman Estate. The property address is 2114 Van Orman Drive, Deltona, Florida 32725. The parcel ID number is 813-031-110260. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 302.7, which states all accessory structures, including detached garages, fences, and walls, shall be maintained and kept in good repair and sound structural condition. Corrective action for said violation to this repair the screen structure, replace all missing screens to maintain a safe barrier. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. The notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This property was brought to the city's attention by a residential complaint. The first visit to the property was on December 12th, 2022. The first notice violation of the property were unsanitary pool, fence in disrepair, and the screen enclosure in disrepair. This case is for the screen enclosure or accessory structure to the home needing repair. I observed missing, ripped, and torn screens across the whole structure. I was able to view the screen enclosure from the backyard vantage point offered by the neighbor. I sent out the notice of violation on the same day of initial inspection. It was made known that the owner of record is deceased and the property is bank-owned at the time of disrepair. Contact with the property management company was made on December 13th. All violations were presented for addressing to meet compliance requirements. The home has been vacant for a few years. The property management company has been removed from the care of the property around mid-February. At this time, the home is occupied by tenants. No contact with any owner or bank representative has been received. Screen enclosure remains in disrepair during the inspection conducted through February and March. A new notice of violation was posted and mailed out under the accessory structure in disrepair ordinance on March 14th, 2023. No repairs or contact for compliance have been received after this new case. The property was posted on a special magistrate hearing on April 16th, 2023. The city would like to request 60 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day be imposed on such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay. And are these the pictures from today?
Just down there. So, yes,
All right.
these right
Okay,
here.
so I see the screen panels are still missing.
Right.
Okay. I find that the notices were properly given in this case. I'm admitting the case file as Exhibit A. I find that respondent in this case is in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on June 25th, 2023, which is 60 days. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $50 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order.
Thank you.
This is case 23-172, 1083 Deltona Boulevard.
Good evening. My name is Bashir Turkzi. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 23172, City of Deltona versus Aldecia Victor and Herney. Property address is 1083 Deltona Boulevard. Parcel ID number is 8130-101-100-90. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, Adopt Florida Building Code, no permit. City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct a large, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, change, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make an application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Corrective action for said violation is to obtain a permit for the fence. Applications must be submitted to City of Deltona, 2345 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida, 32725. The structure must meet all requirements of city ordinance and be approved on final inspection. Contact our office with the permit number when obtained. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation being sent certified mail to the property owner at this address, at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on this property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was a proactive case and was opened on November 13, 22, concerning a new fence installed without a permit. I was able to speak with the property owner and inform him of the violation and the corrective actions. A notice of violation was posted on December the 5th, 22, and the property was given until December 14 to come into compliance. Property owner was given an extension to obtain a survey of the property that's needed to apply for the permit, and as of today, the property is still in violation. The city would like to request 60 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay, as of today, there's no application for the fence permit?
No.
Okay. And then it looks like you had sent a notice of hearing for the previous month, correct? And then an extension was given?
Correct.
Okay, so I just want to have for the record, the notice of hearing that you posted was for today's date, correct?
Correct, yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. I find that the notices were properly given in this case, and I'm admitting the case file as Exhibit A. I find the respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on June 25th, 2023, which is 60 days. In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $50 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is 23-191, 549 Antelope Drive.
My name is Kristen Coulter. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 23-191, the City of Deltona versus BAF Assets LLC. The property address is 549 Antelope Drive. The parcel ID number is 813-004-160-360. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make an application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Corrective action for said violation is to obtain a permit for the fence. Applications must be submitted to the City of Deltona, 2345 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida. The structure must meet all requirements of city ordinance and be approved on final inspection. Contact our office with the permit number when obtained. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was a proactive case and was opened on January 8th, 2023, concerning a new fence installed without a permit. No contact has been made with the resident. I received the lease agreement from the water department with the contact email for the property owner and emailed them regarding the case. No contact has been made. An NOV was posted, a notice of violation was posted on January 23rd, and the property was given until February 1st to come into compliance. To date, there are no permits for that fence on file. The city would like to request 60 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 per day to be imposed until such a time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay, and as of today, there's no permit requested or applied for?
Correct.
I was just looking at the picture, so is it on top of a retaining wall?
It is.
Okay. I guess I don't, well, I suppose the other option for them is to remove the fence altogether.
Correct.
I'm not sure if that's going to be an issue for getting the permit or not, but in order to come into compliance, they can always remove it. So I find that the notices were properly given in this case, and I'm admitting the case file as Exhibit A. I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on June 25th, 2023, which is 60 days. In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $50 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this is 23-193, 2561 Sedgefield Avenue.
My name is Kristen Coulter. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 23-193, the City of Deltona versus Copsitas Spiros. The property address is 2561 Sedgefield Avenue. The parcel ID number is 813-071-320-090. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make an application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Corrective action for said violation is to obtain a permit for the fence. Applications must be submitted to the City of Deltona, 2345 Providence Boulevard, Deltona. The structure must meet all requirements of city ordinance and be approved on final inspection. Contact our office with the permit number when obtained. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by. The notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was initiated based on a complaint and was opened on February 7th, 2023, concerning a new fence installed without a permit. I spoke to a worker at the property the same day, and they advised that they would relay the permit issue to the property owners. A notice of violation was posted on February 20th, and the property was given until March 2nd to come into compliance. The property owner has since made contact and requested time to remove or permit the fence, depending on what he decides. To date, there are no permits on file. The city is requesting 60 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 per day to be imposed until such a time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay, thank you. Just from the picture, is this fence protruding into the front yard?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the only portion of the fence that doesn't have the permit, or is it basically around the entire property?
To my knowledge, it's just that small part in the front. That's the issue.
All right. So again, I mean, is a fence permitted in the front yard by the city code like that?
Yes, ma'am, as long as it's no more than 5 feet tall and it doesn't reach the right-of-way.
Okay. All right. But a permit's still required?
Permit is still required.
Okay, thank you. All right. I'm going to find that the notices were properly given in this case, admitting the case file as Exhibit A, and I will find that respondent in this case is in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on June 25th, which is 60 days. And in the event respondent does not comply with this date, a fine in the amount of $50 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code inspector to verify compliance with this order.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this is 23-007, 2509 Tree Haven Drive.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is a Massey case in reference to DEL 23-007, City of Deltona versus Marshall Property Holding LLC. Property address is 2509 Tree Haven Drive, Deltona 32738. Parcel ID is 813-040-150-190. Statutory requirements for this notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing and notice of violation have been sent to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. It was ruled on February 8th, 2023, that the property owner was given until March 10th, 2023 to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $25 a day since March 10th. As of today, the property accrued a total fine of $1,175 over 47 days. The property still remains in violation as of today.
Okay, you said it was 1,175?
Yes.
Okay, and just to remind me, this was, the violation was for protective treatment.
Exterior
correct?
walls.
And you're right. So there's, I see mold.
Mildew, the chipped paint. There's a window in the back that's all boarded. Soffits are boarded. There's a window in the front that's boarded. But
Okay. Okay, and then are these pictures from today?
These are from today.
These are from today. Okay, yes. Is that the window that's boarded? Can you
In
go
the
back
rear
one?
of the house, yes.
Next to the chimney?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. I find that, let me look at the notice really quickly. Okay. All right, I find that the notices were properly given in this case, and I'm admitting the case file as Exhibit A. And I find that respondent in this case failed to correct the violation by the time specified in special magistrate's prior order in this case, and the fine will be imposed as set forth in that order and will continue to run until the property is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code inspector. Respondent shall notify the code inspector to verify compliance.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, 23-106, this is 2923 Clovis Drive.
My name is Tyler Russo. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a co-compliance officer. This will be DEL, a Massey case number DEL 23-106, the City of Deltona versus Ronald Acker. The property address is 2923 Clovis Drive. The parcel ID number is 813-041-410-050. The statutory requirements for this notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled on February 22nd, 2023, that the property owner was given 30 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 30 days and is receiving a fine of $25 a day since March 24th, 2023. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $850 over 34 days. The city is requesting that the fines continue at $25 per day.
Okay, this was a fence case, correct?
A fence and disrepair, correct?
And, okay, is this a picture from today?
Yes, ma'am, this is the today picture.
All right. Oh, it's hard to see. So is that like slats that are missing and
Yeah, so the
kind of falling down?
Yeah, so the right side of the fence has a few one-piece panels missing along the fence, and then on the left side they have a loose fence that's just leaning up against the fence that's covering a hole. You can't see it from a picture, which is why I did not take the picture of the hole showing it. And then they have the two wooden posts leaning up against the fence as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I find that the notices were properly given in this case. I'm admitting the case file as Exhibit A. And I find that respondent in this case failed to correct the violation by the time specified in the special magistrate's prior order in this case, and the fine will be imposed as set forth in that order and will continue to run until the property is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code inspector. Respondent shall notify the code inspector to verify compliance.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right, that's all the cases, so we will go ahead and adjourn unless anyone has anything else for me. Nope. Okay, we're going to adjourn. Thank you.